Derek Overstreet, founder of the New Millennium Group. We're a financial planning firm. We have advisors standing by right now to take your call. 888-999-6370. The reason you're going to want to call is we're going to help you retire 3 to 5 years before you thought possible. The way we do this is by putting together a step-by-step plan. So if you're one of those people listening and you'd like a plan in writing, give us a call at 888-999-6370. That's 888-999-6370, or go to utahsfinancialplanner.com.
Some of the most meaningful jewelry you own isn't new. It's inherited. A ring from a grandmother, a necklace full of memories, but no longer your style. Duke's Jewelers reimagines family heirlooms into custom pieces you'll actually wear and love. Working one-on-one, Duke's designers honor the original story while creating something fresh and modern. Don't let meaningful jewelry sit unused. Let it live on beautifully. Visit Duke's Jewelers in Springville or online at dukesjewelers.com, where old stories become new treasures.
Believe it or not, this guy actually has friends.
Nice.
This is Scotty G and Friends on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Welcome into Scotty G and Friends here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. I am not Scotty. I'm putting the friends in the friends portion of this program. I'm Jake Hatch. Scotty will be here shortly. We are live today at Tim Dolly Mazda down here at the Southtown Auto Mall. Feel free to stop on by 10785 South Auto Mall Drive. Love to see you guys if you're out and about this afternoon. And of course, Scotty G and Friends brought to you by our friends over at Mountain Land Supply, where the pros go for plumbing, landscaping, irrigation, agricultural irrigation, HVAC parts, tools, and safety equipment. Find a location near you at mountainland.com. Always excited to be out here at Tim Dolly. They have been absolutely awesome to this show over the years, and obviously they're the best when it comes to handling your vehicle needs. So we're going to kick off today's show with an exclusive conversation that Scotty G had with Utah State men's basketball coach Ben Jacobson. Now, he was formally introduced earlier this morning. We carried that press conference live on DJ and PK, and afterwards, Scotty caught up with Coach Jacobson to get a feel for his new tenure as the new head coach of the Utah State Aggies. They have turned over these coaches pretty quickly over the last decade, but have had a lot of success, and I don't think that Coach Jacobs has any illusions of not continuing that success. So here you go. Scott Gerard with new Utah State men's basketball coach, Ben Jacobson.
All right, Coach. Welcome to Logan. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks, Scott. The excitement is it's real. It's a real thing. You can feel the energy around here, and so we feel great about our decision to be here, and can't wait to get started. See the guys this afternoon and get started.
What's this process like for you? I know that there's been a lot of teams that have made some overtures to you in the past, but what was this one like in terms of like, okay, that's where I want to sink my teeth into?
Yeah, it really the timing of it, and came down to timing on two fronts. What Utah State has done and the position we're in heading into the new Pac-12 and what that means and the vision that Cam and President Mortensen have for Utah State right now. Right? So everything that the basketball program has done, Coach Morrill, and we could go through the coaches, we could go through the players. I've known about that for a long time. So to have that line up timing-wise with what Don and I have going in our personal life with Hunter and Tanner. They're at 22 and 20 years old. Hunt just finished. Is going to finish his schoolwork. He's going to student teach in the fall. Tanner's a sophomore over at Nebraska. Very different than when they're 5 and 7, or when they're 13 and 15. Like whatever the years matched up. So all of a sudden, those two things just stacked up. Utah State and everything that's been going on here for a long time, and the excitement and energy going into the new Pac-12, and the people with Cam, his team, the president, the players that are on this team. It just hit when Don and I were in a place personally that it made sense to leave a place that we love.
I talked to an assistant coach at a P4 school, and he goes, I can't get a sniff at that job because of the amount of people that want it and where it's elevated. He goes, maybe 6-7 years ago I would have had a shot at it, but not now. There was a lot of competition for this job just simply because of where this program's been elevated to as of late.
Yeah, no question. I would imagine that that Cam was fielding calls from anybody and everybody with a coach that would certainly be interested in this job. And I that there's a couple pieces to that, Scott. One, the excitement that I touched on, but how proud I am to be our head coach. knowing what you just asked and what you just said. That fills me with a tremendous amount of pride. And I know with that comes a responsibility, right? And the bar is high. Fortunately, we've been in this situation where the bar is high. I love that part of it. That part that gets me going. Every single day. So we're going to thrive in knowing where those expectations are. Right, we're not going to shy away from them. But I take a tremendous amount of pride in the faith that Cam is showing to me right now to be the guy. Out of everyone that had interest in this job.
There is a lot of times when you take over a program, you're taking over a program because the coach had been let go before. And so you've got to rebuild and you've got to build from the ground up. Here it's a different thing where you've got, okay, this is the expectation, bare minimum NCAA tournament. Now they've gotten a taste of round one victories. Now people are talking about Sweet 16s. What kind of a different mindset do you have as opposed to taking over a program what may be struggling and you're trying to build it from scratch?
Yeah, it's a great question. I've been in that situation as an assistant coach. When Greg McDermott got the job at Northern Iowa in 2001, we had to do the second part of what you just described. We had to get it going, right? And fortunately, we were able to in year three. But since 2004, that would have been year three for Mac and for our staff at that time. The expectation has been we went to the NCAA tournament. We got beat in the first round, but immediately, all right, the expectation is that we get NCAA tournament. So I've been navigating that part of it since 2004 as an assistant. And then in 2010, when you break through and you get to the Sweet 16, everything we talked about, everything I've talked about as a head coach and I talked about it in the press conference today, like there's another weekend. And there's another weekend. So we've been operating that way, right? With whether it be our fans, our closest supporters, our community, our campus, when we were recruiting players, it's everything we've been talking about. Everything I've been talking about for 15 years now, since 2010. So that part really lines up, and I get excited about that. Hey, that the minimum of what's happened here recently and for a long time is the NCAA tournament, right? I'm excited about that. More excited about what's after that. Okay, can we knock down that next door?
Speaking of the Sweet 16, I don't know if you faced off as head coaches, but how crazy is it going to be as a conference opponent looking over and seeing Allie there at Colorado State?
Yeah, that's going to be different, man. Really proud of him. The opportunity to be together when he was playing, and we had 2 magical years. And I don't use that term lightly. We won all 4 titles, regular season and conference tournament, in the NCAA tournament both times, and obviously winning 2 games when he's a senior, and playing in the Sweet 16. So our relationship and our bond, if you will, but our relationship is built on 2 big time years of basketball. It as I told everybody today and told the guys, our relationship has nothing to do with hoops, but when you're doing that for 2 years, right? So I was now able to go down and be at his press conference last year, and excited to be there, and just really proud of him. Now we're going to have to play against each other twice.
Yeah,
and we're going to probably recruit a couple of the same guys and go head to head. That's going to be okay. Right? It's not as much fun. When Mac was the head coach at Iowa State, and I was our coach at Northern Iowa, we played played against each other, and it's different, and it's not as much fun as all the other games. But the competitive part of it doesn't change.
Yeah,
I got a job to do at Utah State, and Ali's got a job to do at Colorado State. But our relationship will not, it will not change.
All right, just as a NCAA tournament and basketball nerd, I've got to ask.
Yeah.
Did he have the green light to take that shot?
Absolutely.
Everybody across the country saw that. It's like, no, yes. Yeah.
I'm curious what you thought when he let it go.
Oh, I was like, what are you doing? Yeah. You got to pull that out. Take the foul.
Yeah. So the reason, the reason I can immediately say yes, the way that unfolded, when the ball got thrown up, when Kajot threw the ball up the sideline to Ali, there was one Kansas defender that was back. We had another player on the left side of the floor that was coming into the picture. And when that defender, because he was starting to move toward Ali as he caught it, but he felt our other player that was coming down the opposite side of the floor, and he started to back up a little bit because he felt that guy. as soon as he paused and started to back up, I thought, well, this is going to be interesting, because I knew he was going to shoot it.
Yeah.
So my only thought was, okay, it's going to be interesting, and right, it's all happening in live action.
Oh, yeah.
That's exactly what I'm thinking, and it didn't surprise his teammates, it didn't surprise the coaches, it didn't surprise. It may have surprised some of our fans, right? They're not at every practice, and they're not in all, but us as coaches and his teammates were not surprised.
So I know a coach in the Missouri Valley really well. He was an assistant here with Craig Smith, David Ragland.
Yeah.
And so I texted David, and I'm like, hey, what do you think of Ben? What are your thoughts? And I'm just going to read this verbatim, and you tell me what part of this you like the most. He's great. Love him. He's a great coach, down-to-earth person, incredible human being, but his teams will kick the hell out of you. I'll preface that a little bit. He'll do great there at Utah State.
Well, I appreciate that, Rags. Very similar the way I feel about Rags. If I had to pick a part of that, it would be about being a good person. And I mentioned it in the press conference. Like not that I would want a choice, but I didn't have a choice. Mom and Dad weren't. It wasn't going to work. It wasn't going to work a different way, and I'm really happy for that. For my brothers and our sister and myself, that that's the way it was going to be. You're going to treat people. You're going to treat people well. You're going to be good to people, and because that's what we should be doing. Mm-hmm. It wasn't my mom and dad's idea. It's because that's what we should be doing. So that would be the part of what Rag said. I like that last part.
Yeah.
I like the last part, but not as much as we're gonna do the best we can to treat each other well and care about each other.
So when you build a team together, and obviously retention's huge, there's a lot of coaches, and you and I are roughly the same age. There's a lot of coaches that have been in this for decades that may be getting out because they don't like where it's at. They don't like the evolution of where college sports is right now. As a guy that's been in this for as long as you have it been hard to adapt to, and how do you feel like you and your staff have adapted to this new landscape?
Yeah, it was hard initially, right? And like everyone else, we had a decision to make. Are we going to continue to recruit high school players for us? That's been the backbone of our program, and it's going to be here at Utah State. Once we made that decision, right, and it'll be the same approach here. Things got kind of back to normal and got easier pretty quick. So our formula, guys, we're going to recruit the high school players out here, and they're going to know it, and that's where it's going to start. And then we have our season, right? And the most important people in the program are the players on our team, and we're going to work like crazy to help them feel good about coming back. Right? Retention, very important to me, and we've had success there. And then we'll use the portal when we need to. Right? But the first two, the recruiting high school players that understand what Utah State is about and want to be a part of it, and they're going to take a tremendous amount of pride in it. And then when the season's done, having real conversations, right? And retention, them understanding that them coming back is the most important thing. And then using that portal when we need to. And we've had – the portal's been very good to us. We haven't had very many guys go. Yeah. But we've had openings in the spring, and we attack it with the same formula that we're recruiting the high school players. Okay? We're not going out getting into bidding wars and this guy's wow, look, he averaged this, that. Like we're attacking it the same way. Okay, and good young guys and great families and going to care about each other. So we're attacking the portal the same way we attack the high school recruiting. So it's been good to us. We've added over the last 3 years some guys that have been great fits, and it's just been awesome.
When you recruit now, do you recruit to your system, or do you adapt your system to the guys that you recruit and bring in?
Yeah, so we're high skill level, very important to us. The competitive spirit, high care factor, being a great teammate, those working as well as we can to get a handle on that piece. It's so important to us that you're going to compete and you're going to fight for your teammates and for our university and for our fans, and then high skill level. So then after that, the offense may look a little different, this year than it did last year. The defense may look a little different, but the base stuff is going to be pretty similar in terms of recruiting that high skill level and guys with a high care factor, high competitive spirit. like that'll point us in the right direction.
How hard is it with the transfer portal to get a good evaluation on the character of a kid when everybody's, it's like the old Wild West. Everybody's trying to snag these kids as quickly as they can.
Yeah, it's challenging. But ours has been. I love it when it's somebody we've recruited the first time around, and they just happen to choose somewhere else, but we know them already. Okay, that's been a good part of the formula. Either the place they're playing at or people that have played against have been around them enough, right? Digging into that to get to that question that you asked, and then making sure we have the conversations, like sit down and see them eye to eye and say, okay, what do we want out of this, and doing that the best we can. So continue to do that research and not just having it be, so-and-so, these 3 or 4 schools, they really want him and it's this and this and this, and let's just jump in. We haven't done that. And I don't envision us doing that here at Utah State. Really important to me and the players on our team, right, and the people supporting us and our fans that we have a process and as to who and why they're coming to join us.
All right, one last question before I let you go, and I know you got a lot of people to talk to today. So you've got, regardless of wins or losses throughout the course of your time there at Northern Iowa, whether you've been really good or maybe back down to earth a little bit, you've always been an elite defensive rebounding team. Yeah. Is that something that you're able to recruit and identify, or can you teach coach defensive rebounding?
Yeah, every once in a while you're going to come across. We had Titan Anderson 2 years ago, and we knew he was going to get rebounds. He just was wired. He's going to fight you, and he's going to go get rebounds, and he's a warrior. Right? So you come across that in recruiting, and you see that piece of it, and you love it. But everybody, rebounding is a 5-person job. Everybody, point guard all the way through center, everybody's got to be involved in it. So I love that first piece when you come across and can recruit a guy like Titan Anderson, Carson. Yeah, he's going to rebound.
Oh yeah,
But everybody on the team has got to be involved in it. So it's a little bit of that, and you love it when you come across it. But it's more the day to day. We do it most every single day as part of our 15 to 18 minutes to start the practice. There's a few things we do defensively, offensively. Rebounding is a part of it almost every single day, and we're coaching it. You've got some control over it. Matt Painter is one that I hear talk about it a lot. Defensive rebounding and take care of the ball. If they're not getting offensive rebounds and you're not giving it to them, you're adding possessions to your side. And if you have more possessions than the other team and everything else is pretty equal, so defensive rebounding and taking care of that basketball. And sometimes I think people hear that and say, okay, well, it's going to be a slog them out and it's just going to be a slow. And it's not. You watch Purdue play, they don't play like that.
No.
And if you watch our Valley tournament when we were fully healthy, you watch those 3 games. Evansville game was a little slower. The 3 after that, that's the vibe. That's the vibe of the way we want to play here. And we're going to fight you for defensive rebounds, but it's not going to be a knockdown, drag out 47 to 46. That's not. We're going to get out and play a little bit.
Coach, I want to apologize in advance. You're going to get sick of me throughout the course of the season, so I'll let you go now. But we're going to have a good time. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yep.
There you have it. Ben Jacobson with Scott Gerard, and obviously looking forward to this new era with Utah State. I'm here with Jake from Tim Daly. And Jake, I know that Scotty's up in Logan a lot doing what he does with the Utah State Aggies, but yet another head coach, but the expectation is they're just going to keep rolling here. All right, more in a moment. Scotty G and Friends rolls on right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
This is Mike Boilo of Lexicon Valley.
And I'm Bob Garfield. Are you one of those people who sometimes uses words?
Do you communicate or acquire information with, language?
Hey, us too. So join us on Lexicon Valley to chew over the history, culture, and many mysteries of English, plus some wisecracks.
Find us on one of those apps where people listen to podcasts.
I sold my car in Carvana last night.
Well, that's cool.
No, you don't understand. It went perfectly. Real offer, down to the penny. They're picking it up tomorrow. Nothing went wrong.
So, what's the problem?
That is the problem. Nothing in my life goes as smoothly. I'm waiting for the catch.
Maybe there's no catch.
That's exactly what a catch would want me to think.
Wow, you need to relax.
I need to knock on wood. Do we have wood? Is this table wood?
I think it's laminate.
Okay, yeah, that's good. That's close enough.
Car selling without a catch. Sell your car today on Carvana. Pickup fees may apply.
Hi, this is Alex Kantrowitz. I'm the host of Big Technology Podcast, a longtime reporter and an on-air contributor to CNBC. And if you're like me, you're trying to figure out how artificial intelligence is changing the business world and our lives. So each week on Big Technology, I bring on key actors from companies building AI tech and outsiders trying to influence it, asking where this is all going. They come from places like NVIDIA, Microsoft, Amazon, and plenty more. So if you want to be smart with your wallet, your career choices, in meetings with your colleagues, and at dinner parties, listen to Big Technology Podcast wherever you get your podcasts.
You're locked on to Scotty G and Friends on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Welcome back to Scotty G and Friends here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. I'm Jake Hatch. Scotty G will be here shortly, but it is time now to give away some Utah Jazz tickets. Hit it, Lloyd.
It's Jazz Ticket Tuesday, and your chance to win tickets is right now.
Call this number now.
Call this number now.
Be caller number 12 at 801-575-ZONE. 801-575-ZONE. And you'll be on your way to Delta Center to see the Utah Jazz.
He fires the three. He hits. Oh, don't do me like that.
This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Caller 12, 801-575-ZONE. That's 801-575-9663. You'll win a pair of tickets to watch the Utah Jazz and the Denver Nuggets tomorrow night. Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray in town. Delta Center, 7 o'clock tip-off. Once again, be caller 12 right now. 801-575-ZONE. We'll get you squared away to go out and watch the Jazz in action tomorrow night. All right. So obviously there's a lot going on in the NFL world, and I know that the NFL just dominates headlines seemingly on a daily basis, but they have got their annual league meetings going on down in Arizona, and I don't know what to make of this story. So Aaron Glenn is the head coach of the New York Jets, and if there is a franchise that, in my opinion, is just moribund, never really going to, I feel like, find their way out of being the way that they have been, it is the Jets. Now, it has been a quarterback graveyard, for lack of a better term. Guys like Sam Darnold, Zach Wilson, and Geno Smith have all been drafted by the New York Jets, but had to go elsewhere to find success. And, well, Aaron Glenn thinks that the return of Geno Smith is going to make all the difference here for the Jets. And that's the insane part about this, is that he, at these NFL meetings, says that, quote, I just feel like he, speaking of Geno Smith, is the guy that's going to lead us to the promised land, unquote. And no offense to Aaron Glenn or to anybody with the New York Jets, but if Geno Smith is the guy you think is going to lead you to the promised land, I'm not sure you're setting yourself up for any sort of success. Now, Aaron Glenn came under fire last year. His first year with the New York Jets did not go according to plan. Justin Fields was a quarterback last year. Really never took off. He has since been traded to the Kansas City Chiefs, and I am very curious to see if what Aaron Glenn says here about him taking the Jets to the promised land can be true. And Lloyd, I think that you have a keen insight on this as a Raiders fan who just okay. Oh, sorry, Lloyd. But obviously his run, speaking of Geno Smith with the Raiders last year, not it. And obviously he had some success with the Seattle Seahawks, but there's a reason why these franchises have moved off Geno Smith, and that's the promised land. Here's the deal with the New York Jets and the promised land. I don't know if it's ever going to come to fruition. And we got good friends of the station, guys like Kevin Graham, who are diehard New York Jets fans. They're a glutton for punishment. Let's just be very blunt about that. And that one made me chuckle to see that pop up here. The other one coming out of this is that some of you might recall last season during the Jacksonville Jaguars and San Francisco 49ers game, we had Liam Cohen, the head coach of Jacksonville, and the then defensive coordinator of the 49ers, Robert Saleh, is now the new Tennessee Titans head coach. They had a big dust-up after the game over allegations of sign stealing in that game, and it got a little heated post-game. And according to both of them now, it's water under the bridge. Now, do I believe that? I don't necessarily think so, because these two guys are now both in the AFC South, and that will be the interesting deal to see if Saleh and Cohen can obviously coexist, considering they had that dust up last season. And these situations are always interesting to me because coaches have long memories. And when you're now rivals of one another, speaking of these head coaches, Lloyd, did you see this about Robert Saleh and Liam Cohen claiming that it's water under the bridge after their dust-up over sign-stealing allegations last year?
No, are you serious?
They claim that Saleh, we're good, unquote.
Okay, sure.
I just said, like, these coaches have long memories. These guys, they're not going to forget this. And the fact that they're both in the same division now, they're going to face each other twice a year. They're absolutely going to be gunning for one another, especially considering these are two guys. The 49ers where Saleh was working and the Jacksonville are two opposite coasts. And to have these two get together and to have that dust up, now you bring them in the same division. Yeah, this is not.
That's an interesting duo right there.
Yeah. I'm very curious to see what happens with this. Did you also see the rankings of the NFL coaches of photo? Like these people that are breaking down, like how these coaches are sitting and where they're standing in line.
You know what? They anything and everything. There is something to talk about every day, right? Am I right?
Well, yeah. Well, part of this was because Cohen and Saleh were on the back row of this. They had 13 coaches between them. And some people are like, see, they don't want to be anywhere near each other. And they're claiming it's all happenstance. I don't know. I just, this type of stuff makes me chuckle. And these NFL league meetings, obviously these coaches and GMs and the owners are all there. They're talking to the media. And I always wonder what is being said to the media versus what's happening in said meetings, how it all goes down. And Lloyd, I referenced earlier the situation with Geno Smith. Did you see the quote, another head coach, Aaron Glenn, saying that he thinks that Geno Smith is going to lead the New York Jets to the, quote, promised land?
Okay. Stop. I will, you know what? You know what? To a point, I understand why Geno sucked so bad with the Raiders because the offensive line was terrible. I get that. But he was next level bad. I don't even care what the offensive line, would have been. I just, his readings were bad. Everything he did was bad. His decision making was bad. His off the field antics were bad. Everything was. It was everybody. I've never seen somebody that was so. Not me. This is not my. I didn't do it. It's the offensive. Like that was a guy that would take no responsibility for anything. I mean, flipping the bird to fans. Like, come on, fans are upset that you've thrown like your 10th interception and it's only been 3 games. Like they're upset. They're mad. Yeah, I'd be a little bit grumpy too. Like I'm not saying the Raiders expected a playoff, but at least maybe a 7-win or 8-win season where you're in the ballpark of maybe it could happen, maybe. Yeah. But the thing is, he was terrible. He was a bad quarterback, and I don't know. I mean, I think he was. I don't know what the situation. Really, what changed from Seattle to the Raiders. Like I said, probably the offensive line a little bit, but that was a bad quarterback. He was terrible, and the fact that he ended up back with the Jets is comical.
Well, that's the thing about this.
He's not going to take him to the promised land. I'm just sorry. That's just not going to. Geno is who you drafted. He's the same guy. He hasn't changed. There's nothing that's changed. You might get an okay season out of him, once in a while. But Geno is Geno still. He's still going to make the same mistakes.
Yeah, he had a league high 17 interceptions last year for the Raiders, and this is a franchise that drafted him. And I already mentioned. They've had Sam Darnold. They've had Zach Wilson. They've had Geno. They've all drafted these quarterbacks who have gone on to move to other franchises and have some modicum of success. Obviously, Darnold by far the most, obviously winning that Super Bowl this past year. But to bring him back for a second tour of duty and to have Aaron Glenn, who's already kind of under the gun because it was not a good season for him last year with New York in his debut, to say that he's going to lead us to the promised land, it's like, it's just laughable. And
that's not happening.
We need to get Kevin Graham on the show and let
it's still the Jets, by the way. It's by the way. It's like saying when he gets to the Raiders, somebody saying he's going to lead us to the promise. No, you're right now until I start seeing a change. And don't get me wrong, I'm starting to get a little belief in my Raiders. Like, hey, maybe this could be our year. But still, at the end of the day, you're still the Raiders and you're still the Jets. And until something changes, you'll have to wait and see. But as of right now, no way. You're not leading the Jets to the promised land because nobody's leading that team to the promised land. That's just a bad team.
Yeah, it's the New York Jets.
When's the last time they went to the playoffs? Was it under Chad Pennington? Has it been that long?
Oh,
I feel like it's been a long time. I don't know. Maybe they've gotten there once.
Well, they did. Sanchez.
Sanchez got there one time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then had a thing called the butt fumble.
The butt fumble, exactly.
If there's one thing in NFL history you don't want to be known for, that Mark Sanchez is, it's the butt fumble. So
I think he would take that ahead of what he's known for right now. He would take the butt fumble.
Yes, very true. Yes, obviously that was a horrific situation that he recently had, and obviously he's now persona non grata. Let's put it that way out there. Lloyd, speaking of the storylines involving the Las Vegas Raiders, did you see what Sashi Brown, the team president for the Baltimore Ravens, said about the rescinding the trade to send Max Crosby back?
What, did they feel terrible about it and they really wanted it to work?
Oh, no.
Oh.
They blamed it on a, quote, a slow news day, unquote, for the fallout that came from it.
Okay. No, that's not the case. No. You had all the information you wanted to. Somebody came in where you could save some money, and you know, it's okay. That's what you did. You were a little bit bush league on how you went about it, and you pulled the rug underneath the Raiders, and that's fine. Maybe it was payback for stealing your center. Maybe that's what it was.
Maybe, but I also feel like it's him doing damage control, because he also went on to say that they don't believe that the relationships with other NFL teams in terms of doing deals going forward are going to be hurt in any way.
By the way, I know it's easy to say that and be like, oh man, you're not. Yeah. The thing is, if there's something worth trading, people are going to probably work with you. They will. They're not going to completely, but it will. I think it will hinder that a little bit with agents and them. I think it will a little bit to a point, but still, at the end of the day, if there's something worth trading and it's good for both sides, then it's probably going to happen. I think that'll go away. You won't really notice that.
I do wonder, just like with, you mentioned agents and whatnot, there's always going to kind of be that lingering thought in the back of anybody who deals with the Ravens going forward here is like, hey, could my guy be the next guy that gets screwed by them? As PK likes to say, there's no losers in pro sports. These guys are making millions upon millions of dollars. Like they're living a life that any one of us would like to have in terms of their compensation. But I do wonder at some level that if you do a deal with the Raiders and you're dealing with Sashi Brown or Eric DeCosta, who's their GM, you always have that thought in the back of your mind: ooh, are they gonna get us next? Are they gonna call us up and say, hey, by the way, we're no longer doing the deal? It always lingers out there. Final note real quick on the NFL front, Lloyd. Did you see the new rule changes that have been agreed to today?
Tell me about it.
All right, number one, you can now they have now allowed teams to declare an onside kick at any point during the game. Now, that obviously was not the case with the new kickoff rules since they were implemented. You can only do it in end of game scenarios. Now you can onside kick at any point. You can declare that. Next thing. You now have there used to be teams that would intentionally kick the ball out of bounds to gain an advantage when you were on the 50-yard line. And they're also changing the kickoff alignment requirements for the receiving team. These setup zones, you know about these new rules, Lloyd, in terms of the kickoff.
Right.
They're now going to allow teams to manipulate in terms of where players line up, it sounds like. So that'll be interesting to see how special teams coordinators how they deal with this, because it changes the special teams side of things. And then the biggest rule change, for 1 year only, they're allowing the NFL officiating department, so the league headquarters, to correct clear and obvious misses made by on-field officials that impact the game, and that is going to obviously be in the case of replacement officials being officially used this season. We want to avoid the complete, incomplete calls and all that type of stuff. They're going to allow the league headquarters to change those calls on the field if they are forced to use the replacement refs. So,
do you like those the changes that are making?
The special team stuff is what it is. The kickoff rules have been in place for a while now. I'm just curious to see if we have
you know what? I don't know. I like back in the day when there was a lot more returns.
Well, and that's the funny thing is these kickoff rules are supposed to encourage that. And you already talked about, I mentioned the fact they want to get rid of the incentive to intentionally kick the ball out of bounds because they want to. Obviously, they don't want to return, so they're going to. So they're changing that. I am very curious to have the quote "eye in the sky." If they can really change calls in the middle of the game, that that could court some controversy, but that obviously is only in the event that they do end up having to use the replacement officials. And that will be very curious to see, because they're still negotiating with the NFL Referees Association. They've already started apparently start hiring college level officials to replace them. They're going to onboard them. And if things don't come to fruition by May, they're going to start getting them ready to be the replacement refs. And to have the league office, this is like, remember who was the guy, Lloyd, the Pac-12 headquarters that got involved? Woody Dixon. Is that who it was? The guy that was Woody walking Dixon into and was like influencing how calls were being made on the field in the Pac-12. I think
it was Woody Dixon. I think you're right.
Let's take it to the NFL level and have it league-wide. How about that? That could be, not trying to stir up controversy, but
of course you are trying to stir up controversy, Hatch.
Well,
Mr. Controversy.
We got the man, the myth, the legend has stopped on by.
I don't believe
Scotty
you.
G.
Hey, Lloyd.
Yeah,
I don't need this from you.
I don't believe you.
Made it down from Logan.
Hi, Lloyd. How are you?
Scott.
Hi, Jake.
How are you doing?
I'm great. No, we are ready to rock and roll. Sorry, thanks for holding down the fort.
Absolutely. Have you heard about these NFL, all these different things going on with the NFL league meetings we've been talking about?
Yeah, it's not good. I mean, what was it? When did they go replacements? Was it 2000?
It was 2012, if I recall.
Yeah, that went well.
Well, they have authorized rules. If they have to use it, they are going to have the league headquarters, like the home officiating office, be able to overturn obvious calls on the field. That'd be very interesting to see if that's what comes to fruition here with this.
Yeah. All right, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. All right, coming up next, what you may have missed. Also, we'll kick off your 1 o'clock hour. Coming up, we are live here at Tim Daly Mazda Southtown, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Hi, this is Alex Kantrowitz. I'm the host of Big Technology Podcast, a longtime reporter and an on-air contributor to CNBC. And if you're like me, you're trying to figure out how artificial intelligence is changing the business world and our lives. So each week on Big Technology, I bring on key actors from companies building AI tech and outsiders trying to influence it, asking where this is all going. They come from places like NVIDIA, Microsoft, Amazon, and plenty more. So if you want to be smart with your wallet, your career choices, in meetings with your colleagues, and at dinner parties, listen to Big Technology Podcast wherever you get your podcasts.
I sold my car in Carvana last night.
Well, that's cool.
No, you don't understand. It went perfectly. Real offer, down to the penny. They're picking it up tomorrow. Nothing went wrong.
So, what's the problem?
That is the problem. Nothing in my life goes as smoothly. I'm waiting for the catch.
Maybe there's no catch.
That's exactly what a catch would want me to think.
Wow, you need to relax.
I need to knock on wood. Do we have wood? Is this table wood?
I think it's laminate.
Okay, yeah, that's good. That's close enough.
Car selling without a catch. Sell your car today on Carvana. Pickup fees may apply.